All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hope everybody had a fun week. It means burning up 1,000 degrees outside. I learned if you're going to be outside, it's better to go out there early in the morning, or so my wife tells me. She's like, you're going to get that stuff done, you better get out there. And I'm thinking the older I get, the less I can tolerate the heat. And but I want to make an announcement too. We're having the 27th of next month. They're having a women's She Will is what it's called. It says, will she rise up? Will she awaken from her spiritual slumber? Will she cultivate biblical faith? Will she provoke others to pursue Christ? Will she advance in the work of God as He for her? And it's going to be at the First Baptist. I guess they're invite somebody in, but it's $25. And but I'm sure if anybody's interested in going, the church will pay the $25 for you to go. And they're just really trying to, promote women having stuff around here. Because again, they have men's luncheon every week, they have men's supper once a month, they have a men's deal up there at First Christian. So I'm really trying to promote for the women. The posters back there, and they have these handy little magnetic. There you go. Refrigerator magnets you put on there. Gwen, she has been a very blessing to this church, helping out with stuff like that. And also too, Tony was telling me that when she was over in church over there in Amarillo, that she liked getting these deals like this right here and going over to the grocery store and putting them like over the bread or some kind of in the aisle so people would find them and know this is out of place. But it tells, talking about somebody loves you, and these are called tracts. Okay? And it just shows, if you need Bible verses to go to, it shows you where you can go and see where God loves you and what God done for us by sacrificing His Son for us. And also, too, it got a little fancy. It got on the back here. It shows the church. Has a little picture. You can see it's really small, but it has the church, the address, and the schedule for the services and everything, the Bible study. And I got 100 of them back there. So feel free to take some with you. Like I say, whenever if you want to talk to somebody or just whatever. These things are like $12.50 for 100 of them. So I can buy more. And also, dun dun dun, for those that are creative, you can also go to this website, and if you feel that you can write your own tract, you can submit it to them, and they'll put it in front of their board, and then they'll print it for you if it's approved. So you can make your own tract and become an own published writer. Right? Yeah. But all you have to do is come up with a different title, like this one says, Somebody Loves You. And but yeah, that's what I was telling Tony. We can try to write something like, say, submit it, and you can have your own. That'd be pretty cool to have your own little, it might not mean a whole lot to everybody else. It's like, hey, look at this. I wrote this. Of course, you wouldn't want me to write it because you can't read my handwriting, so I had to print it. But anywho, back to the church now. I got 15 minutes. Golly, that's kind of, I got 2 chapters to go through too. And first off, I want to start with a quiz. Because, like I say, my wife suggested, other people suggested that I start in one book and read through the entire book, so that way we teach it and we learn it. And for a reward, if you know the answer, I've asked 3 questions this morning, and if you know the answer, you get a kiss. Kisses, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, we started in 1 Samuel, and we read through there about Samuel and his mother and everything. I know, don't look back now and try to cheat now, okay? I need this from memory, because I tried going over it every week. I refresh y'all. I'm going to refresh you right now. Let's first start off with Samuel's mother wanting a son, and she was going to dedicate. She had a Nazarene birth right that she gave to the son. If God gave her a son, and she dedicated him to the church, and not just dedicated, but devote his life into the church, so he would be raised in the church. And that's a pretty bold statement nowadays, because it's hard to tell children what to do, because children have a mind of their own. But Samuel was blessed with having the ability to talk to with God. And God spoke to him when he was like 12, 13 years old. And well, anyway, I'm going to ask first question. What was Samuel's mother's name?
Mary. Sarah.
Hannah. There you go, sir. It was Hannah. Hannah was the mother. And because Hannah was the one that, like I say, she prayed to God, and she went to the chapel or the temple and was praying there, and the priest thought she was drunk because she was moving her mouth, but no words were coming out. She was doing a silent prayer. And but he said, "Why are you drunk at this time of morning?" Okay. Now, let's see. Try to make this a little more complicated. Okay, here's a good one. What did Samuel say to God when he first spoke to him?
Is that you, God?
Huh?
Is that you, God?
Well, what he said, Samuel. And he went to who? Who did he go to ask when he thought it was God's, when he thought it was somebody else speaking to him? What was, huh? No, I mean, who did he go to that woke him up to ask him what did he want? He said, "Here I am." Who did he go to? What was the priest that raised him?
Eli.
He might be what you say?
Elijah.
No, it's Eli. This man, I hope he died there. All right. Now, last week I read up on what did Israel want? Instead of a judge, what did they want?
King.
Yeah, hey man. Oh, you said that? You said that? Oh, cool. Okay, I searched king there from the side. Man, smashing. Yeah, okay, this is where we're at now. Israel, they had God ruling over them through a judge with Samuel. And now they're saying all these other countries around them, they have kings. They have been ruled by a man, and that's what Israel wants now. They're wanting a king and saying, "Hey, we want to be ruled by a man." And that's when God tells Samuel, he goes, "Hey, don't take it personal. You know, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting me." And well, anyway, so Samuel goes to the people and he tells them, he goes, "If you get a king, they're going to take. They're going to take your kids, they're going to take your fields, they're going to take all this from you. Are you willing to give all that up?" And what did they say? They said, "Yeah, we want a king. We don't care what it takes from us. We want a king." Why? Because everybody around us has a king. So instead of having the one true God, they want to be like everybody else. Do you know people like that are willing to hang out with somebody they have these guys that are not Christian-like, and they're willing to hang out with them just to try to be with the cool kids? This is what Israel's trying to do. They're trying to fit in with everybody else, so they're going to have a king. So they're giving up direct communication with God. And so that's what, now we're into chapter 9. And this is where the first king of Israel was crowned. In verse 1 it says, "There was a Benjamite, a man standing, whose name was Kish, son of Abel, son of Zerah, and the son of Rath, the son of Ephah and Benjamin. He had a son named Saul, an impressive young man without equal among him and the Israelites, a head taller than any one of the other ones." They say at this time the average height of a man was like 5'6". So a head taller, he would probably be like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. And I kind of know how the man feels. I'm not tall at all. I'm average height for a white male. But I went to Mexico one time and I was walking through like a Walmart over there. And I feel like a giant too. I'm like, all these little short people walking around. So I kind of have a little taste of what Saul felt. But the only thing is, though, it says he was an impressive young man. They say he had really good looks. And so I don't know what that feels like. I'm average, I think. Average height, average looks, whatever. You know, I'm married. I don't have to worry about my looks anymore. Anywho, now there was donkeys belonging to Saul's father were lost. And Kish said to his son, take one of the servants with you and go look for the donkeys. So he passed through the hill country of Ephraim and through the area of Salash. But they did not find them. They went into the direction of Salom, but the donkeys were not there. Okay, I'm going to jump down here. But I want y'all to go back and read this now, okay? Because I might quiz y'all again. This one might be y'all real kiss. Now I can get Butterfinger or something next time. But anyway, this is where they're looking for these donkeys. And why are these donkeys lost? Well, I think God had a hand in it because he uses these donkeys to take Saul right where he needs to be. And he goes to this town and he's asking, looking for a seer. A seer back then is a prophet. Nowadays, what they called seer back then. And they say seer because they see they had God talks to them directly. And God's talking to Samuel, he's telling him where to be at because he's fixing to meet these two together. He's telling him, I want you to anoint this man's head. So Saul goes to this place looking for these donkeys. And now in 10, it said, good Saul, said the servant, come, let's go see the set out for the town where the man, where the God was. As they were going up the hill to the town, they met some girls coming out to draw water. They asked them, I see, is the seer here? And he is, they answered. Now this is kind of strange because at this time, women did not talk to men out in public. But you got this guy that's a foot taller than everybody, strutting along with them good looks. He sees a couple of little honeys, I hate. They're like, oh, look at that guy. And he's like, hey, where's the seer at? Like, oh, he's over here, you know. Yeah, see, so they didn't mind talking to him in public. Why? Because there was something interesting for them. And that's what I love about the Bible, because it tells the truth. You know, like little things like that right there where a woman was not speaking to men in public, but now they are. Because why? They got GQ guy out there, you know, looking at them, giving them a wink. And they said, where's that? I'll give you a marker. Yeah, they answered. He's ahead of you. Hurry now. He has just come to our town, for the people have a sacrifice at the high place. As soon as you enter the town, you will find him before he goes up to the high place to eat. The people will not be eating until he comes, because he must bless the sacrifice. Afterwards, those who are invited will go eat. Go up and you shall find him about this time. They went up to the town. They were entering the place where Samuel was coming towards them on his way up to the high place. Now the day before Saul came, the Lord revealed to Samuel, about this time I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin, anoint him leader over my people Israel. He will deliver my people from the hand of the Philistines. I have looked upon my people, for the cries have reached me. Now that'd be pretty cool to have God talking to you directly, you know, telling you, and he's telling you the exact time of the day that he's going to be in. And so in 17 it says, when Samuel caught a sight of Saul, the Lord said to him, this is the man I spoke to you about. He will govern my people. Saul approached Samuel in the gateway and asked, would you please tell me where the seer's house is? I am the seer, Samuel replied. Go ahead of me on the high place where you are to eat with me, and this morning I will let you go, and I will tell you all that is in your heart. As for your donkeys you lost 3 days ago, don't worry about them. They have been found, and whom is all desire of Israel turned. Now, he didn't say nothing to him about his donkeys. He didn't ask him where his donkey's at. Samuel told him, your donkeys are okay. Wouldn't it be strange to walk up to somebody and you're thinking what you're going to ask them and they already know the answer? I mean, this shows where God's directly talking to him. And now, Saul answered, but I'm a Benjamite from the smallest tribe of Israel. Benjamin was one of the 12 tribes of Israel. 12 tribes. And this is not my clan in the least of all my clans of the tribe of Benjamin. Why do you say such thing to me? Then Samuel brought Saul, his servant, into the hall and seated him there at the head of those who invited, about 30 in number. Samuel said to the cook, bring the piece of meat I told you to lay aside. So the cook took a leg with what was on it and set it in front of Saul. Samuel said, here it has been kept for you to eat, because will be set aside for you at the occasion from the time I said I have invited guests. And Saul dined with Samuel that night, that day. Now, this is where Samuel gets up here in chapter 10. This is where he anoints Saul. It says, then Samuel took a flask of oil and poured it on Saul's head. Now, if you read back, anybody take notes, this is the first time somebody's used oil outside of the temple to anoint somebody. And, right here in 10, I'm just going to read 2 more verses and I get my message. So he took a flask of oil, poured it over Saul's head, kissed him, and said, has not the Lord anointed you leader over this inheritance? When you leave me today, you will meet 2 men near Rachel's tomb in Zelah on the border of Benjamin. They will say to you, the donkeys you set out to look for have been found, and now your father has stopped thinking about them and is worried about you. He is asking, what shall I do about my son? Then you will go on from there and reach the great tree of the tabernacle. 3 men, now check the detail of this. 3 men going up to God at Bethel will meet you there. One will be carrying 3 young goats, the other one 3 loaves of bread, and the other one will have a skin of wine. They will greet you and offer you the 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. Now, this is where God's telling them in detail. Because that's the thing about it. See, we have these things around the world now they're called mediums. And mediums, they're supposed to be between the dead and the living. And people go to these conferences and stuff and see these mediums. And a lot of times they have microphones in the waiting rooms. They can fill stuff out. And they're trying to listen to what these people are saying. The thing about it is you can go into a place where 1,000 people are, and you can say, somebody's talking to me right now. I sense somebody that they're hurting. They're hurting. They lost a loved one. And 1,000 people, you're going to find somebody that's lost a loved one pretty recently. And then they start doing little things like, look at their age. If you look at somebody like maybe 50, 60 years old, you're going to be thinking their parent has passed. So you're going to say, well, it was a loved one, like a mother? Was it a mother? They're like, yeah, my mother passed away last, like, oh yeah. And I bet you have I sense her talking something about a necklace. Do you have a necklace? And they're like, oh, yeah, of course they're going to give you a necklace. Any necklace you give your kids. They're able to pick this stuff out. But God's telling him exactly. They're going to have 3 goats. They're going to carry a skin of wine and all this different stuff. Why? Because it's God talking to them. And that's the thing. This is what Samuel was telling Saul. Because Samuel's trying to open his heart up. He's trying to open his heart because he don't know who he is. I wish I had more time. But where he's talking about when in 9, it says, as Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. Now, as Christians, when you first become a Christian, when you first grab God you grab both hands, don't you? New believers, they grab a hold of God both hands, and they're like, they want to talk to everybody about their faith, talk to everybody about the love that they have for God, how God saved their life and everything else. But as time goes on, sometimes people curve away, they lose faith, they stop going to church, what's that famous word? Backslide. They backslide. And this is what Samuel is trying to install in Saul is the new love. I can't tell you what happens later on because that's coming up in the next few weeks. But this is where God reaches out to every one of us. He reaches out to every one of us wanting our hearts. And some of us give him half of our heart. Some of them give him a quarter. And God doesn't want that. He wants what Samuel gave to him. Samuel gave all. He gave his entire life. He dedicated his entire life to God. And now he's seen the people reject him. And I don't know about you. Have you ever been rejected before by somebody? I mean, I have. I've been one of those kids that was lined up against the fence and everybody was picking, I want him, I want him. I'm sitting there like two guys left. It's like, man, stand on your tiptoes a little taller or something. You don't want to be rejected. You're the last one. Oh, come on, Sean, get over here. Like, oh, man, I was the last one picked. Oh, rejection hurts. It's a bad thing to be rejected. And this is what Samuel's going through. He's getting rejection, but not only that, he's having to anoint somebody else to his position to rule over these people. And he's doing it why? He's doing it with pride. He's not hurt. He's taking what God told him to do, and he's following full instruction. He's not bitter. He's not anything else. He's just being honest with God. And that's what a lot of us need to do is look at our hearts and see the honesty that we have with God. What are we holding back from God? Because a lot of us hold stuff back. We're like, okay, God, I'm going to give you this, but I'm keeping this. Nobody knows this right here. I'm keeping this one right here for myself. We all have little things like that we keep back from God. But God, He knows everything about us. I mean, we're like glass. He can see right through us. Even though we put a little bit of dirt on us, He wipes that dirt off as He sees through us as long as we turn towards Him. And that's what Samuel's trying to get Saul, his full investment of his heart. And I'm going to wrap this up. This is like 5 after. And I'm hungry. Who wants a burger? One person wants a burger? Come on now.
Everybody.
Everybody, come on. I even got to grill some jalapenos too. Yeah, Michael want one. Yeah, he's gonna grill. Hopefully he grills the jalapenos. I took them out there. I hope you got that hint. But no, that's all I ask. If you take anything away from this sermon today, just realize this is where Samuel has been rejected by the people. But Samuel's he's not hurt by one bit. He's not letting nothing let him down because his heart is with God. And as long as our heart's with God, rejection is not going to hurt us. Might have a little sting at first, but we're going to realize there's one man that will not reject us. Okay, there's a thumbs up. All right. Would bow your heads. And take this time just to ask